Mexico, with the United States, has out-negotiated us and beat us to a pulp through our past leaders. They've made us look foolish. We have a trade deficit of $60 billion with Mexico. On top of that, the border is soft and weak. Drugs are pouring in, and I'm not going to let that happen.
All right, that was President Trump vowing to stop the cartel-fueled drugs and violence from pouring into our country from Mexico. So the question is, just how bad is the situation down at the southern border? Now, last week, we sent one of our producers to Arizona to check it out for you. And what they found, once again, is shocking. Watch this.
How far south are you?
We have other type of fencing here that allows us to see through the fence and address any threats that might be approaching the fence. This is where the pedestrian fencing ends. We're about 5 miles west of the city of Nogales. The terrain in this location is, as you can see, is very rugged. This here is what we refer to as a vehicle barrier. This used to be a known drive-through location where we have vehicles driving through, and right here is evidence that there's a lot of traffic through here. This is a known drug smuggling route. There is evidence that drug mules come through this area because you can see that there's these bundle straps. These bundle straps here are used to tie the bundles together, and then they put them up like that. They make it into like a small backpack. For somebody to walk all the way this way, they'll probably already walk a day in Mexico before they cross into the United States, because there's really no towns out here. Right now we're about southwest of Ajo, Arizona. So we had air support, picked up a group of suspected drug mules in the area. One agent interdicted a group, and he has contraband with him. While agents were responding, one of the agents came across what it seems to be abandoned marijuana. Doesn't look like it's part of the group we're working, but sometimes we get close to the area and drug mules abandon their load, and then they ride back to Mexico to avoid apprehension. Each of these bales weighs around 50 pounds. They're about 20 kilos a pack. What we're going to do right now is we're going to try to get close to assist the other agent that's in need right now. We don't know if they're outstanding individuals. The good thing is that we got air support nearby, and they're trying to find a safe zone to land and help them out with that. By the time the agents showed up, because they were up in the mountains, the smugglers have dropped their contraband. Good thing that we had air assets nearby where they're able to respond and assist in the search of the bundles. All right, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to break them down individually. Then we're going to tag them. We're going to weigh each one of them.
422.90 again.
Agents are breaking down the bundles individually. They're tagging them. What's going to happen from here is going to get eventually turned over to the Drug Enforcement Agency, who ultimately takes custody of the contraband. Once we interdicted the group, the agents exhausted all resources available to look for the individuals, but it's more than likely that they made their way back into Mexico once they knew we were moving into their location. As you can tell, they had the high ground when we were driving in, so they saw us moving into their location. We interdicted a total of 18 bundles of contraband with a total weight of over 400 pounds of marijuana. These 400 pounds that are not going to make it into the streets today.
400 pounds caught in that raid alone. Joining us now with reaction to what you just saw, Fox News senior correspondent Geraldo Rivera. All right, I have been down 12 times. Horseback, all-terrain vehicle, boats, helicopters. Me on horseback was funny, by the way. I have been to drug warehouses. I was there when gangs were arrested, gang members were arrested, have it all on video, and the drug warehouse, floor to ceiling, the biggest warehouse you've ever seen. Isn't this issue also not about the drugs and the cartels and the gangs? What if they were terrorists? What if they were bringing in nuclear material?
Well, that's an excellent question. I just want to compliment the producer. I don't know which one.
Dan Cohn.
Dan Cohn. Well, congratulations to him, because it's one thing to talk about drugs being smuggled. It's another thing to see the vivid graphic evidence of it right before your very eyes. In terms of the wall, and I think that's where the conversation has to go, I think the wall will stop casual drug dealers. It'll stop the pot smuggler. The question is whether it will stop the El Chapos. Remember, there are 75 tunnels that have been identified over the 2,000-mile border.
I was in one. I was in one.
And, of course, I was in El Chapo's most famous, his escape
remember that,
tunnel.
yeah.
I think the pros will fly over it. They'll tunnel under it. They'll drive around it. I think that will stop the small-timers. And, of course, now as the United States legalizes pot and we produce so much of our own now, I think that the demand will drop.
Aren't you worried more about the heroin, the kids that try Vicodin, Percocet, OxyContin, and then move to heroin? Go back to what you said earlier about national security and terrorists sneaking across. As far as I know, there has not yet been a verified penetration of our southern border by any terrorist. Not yet. Thank God. I don't believe that. All I know is what the records say. Here's what we do know. Not yet. We have 1,000 ongoing investigations of radical Islamists in all 50 states. That's just a fact. Where they came from, we don't know. But did you notice there was a fence in most of the area that you were talking about? So would a fence twice as high work twice as well? Double fencing, I'm not so sure. Across most of the border, and then there are other techniques. Here's the thing. You know, I've withdrawn my objection. I think that if you're willing to spend, if the taxpayers of the United States are willing to spend up to $25 billion, I think that what you have to see now, and the most interesting thing is within the Republican Party, people like Senator John Cornyn and others of Texas and others are saying or beginning to say, wait, as infrastructure priorities go, this is not the top of our list. We have to really make sure that there's a spending offset where the budget doesn't go to hell in a handbasket. That goes for all spending, and I know that's a priority, but national security's got to be the #1 priority.